But can RSS explain why it has not registered itself? Now the issue is, when you run away from disclosing your books, that will create suspicion in the minds of the people that there is something wrong. Yeah. They must be getting some money whose sources they don't want to disclose. This is a part of a much larger framework. I think the Congress has decided that let's take the bull by horn and let's take the battle to the enemy's territory. We can't remain defensive that RSS is there, so let's not talk about RSS. Let's not talk about Hindutva. You talk about transparency. You talk about openness. You talk about following the law. You talk about swearing by the Constitution. So prove it.
Hello and a warm welcome to HW News Network, your one-stop show, truth be told, for some engaging and thought-provoking conversations. Rashtriya Swayamsevak Chief Mohan Bhagwat has refused to respond to Karnataka Home Minister Priyank Kharge's open letter to asking the organization to register itself, clarify its legal status, and disclose its sources of funding, income, expenditure, and assets, arguing that it must uphold transparency and constitutional accountability. Now, Mohan Bhagwat was speaking at an event in Kerala's Thrissur, where he said that he would not respond to Kharge's letter, adding that the organization had nothing to hide and conducted its activities openly. There are many, and this is what he said, I'm going to quote him, that there are many unregistered things going on, and we are not secretive. We work in open grounds. We call people and tell them what to do. And then calling the demand politics, Bhagwat said that such attempts were nothing new for the organization. He said that this is politics and these kind of gimmicks are being tried. We are used to it. After 10 to 15 years of the Sangh's inception, we had to face all these things. If they don't happen, we feel something is amiss. So which is very clear that Mohan Bhagwat will not disclose the details which have been sought by Priyank Kharge. And just a short while back, as we speak, Mr. Priyank Kharge has said that RSS will have to disclose the details, will have to abide by law and the Constitution. So if he doesn't do that, so could there be punitive measures, at least in Karnataka, against RSS? This is all what we'll try and discuss. Joining me this evening is veteran journalist and author Ashutosh joins us this evening. Ashutosh has also written a book called Hindu Rashtra, which has been selling big time and on the shelves. Thank you so much, Ashutosh, for joining.
Thank you.
And, my first question to you, Ashutosh, is that this standoff between Mohan Bhagwat and Priyank Kharge, do you see this as a political gimmicks or as something which should have been pursued long time back?
See, Neelu, even if it is a gimmick, let's take it. Even if it is a gimmick, even if there is a politics, but can RSS explain why it has not registered itself? Why it hasn't got registered itself? When every organization in this country, even you and I, go and form an organization, the requirement is that we have to get registered. And so why RSS has a problem not getting registered? What's wrong Priyank Kharge has done? I think this is a simple question. As an organization, you are 100 years old. You have more than lakhs and lakhs of followers, supporters, members. You run almost more than 3 dozens of organizations. You got a proper office. You got a multi-story building in Delhi as an office. So what's the problem in getting registered? Why you don't want to get registered? This is a very simple question. Let's not talk about other things. Simple question is, if you are an organization, you believe in Indian Constitution, you believe in that you have nothing to hide, and there's nothing wrong is happening in the organization, then you please go and get registered. As simple.
No, but the
There's hardly anything wrong.
response, Ashutosh, the tried and tested response of RSS is like I was live with Mr. Ratan Charda, who's the RSS thinker. He was live with me on a program, and he said that why is Priyank Kharge forcing us to fit into the regular, the organizational setups of other organizations? We are a group of self-financed people, and we furnish all the details. We pay our taxes. This is their tried and tested response.
Is RSS paying taxes? No, because it's not a registered organization. So I do not know that whether they are paying taxes as an organization. So my question is I'm still hung up to that question. If you are an organization 100 years old, running so many other organizations, you have a very strong presence in the country, and at the moment you are running the country, then what is the problem that you don't want to get registered? Simple question. And what the Priyank Kharge has in his letter had pointed out 8 points.
Yes.
The legal status and organizational structure, details of its office bearers and authorized representatives, sources of donation, contribution and income, details of the expenditure and assets, whether applicable taxes are being paid in accordance with the law. I think all the 5, I do not find anything wrong with that. Every organization has to answer those questions. Who is your party president, or who is your patron? Who is your general secretary? Who is the office bearer? What constitution you follow? And what kind of money you get, whether you are paying taxes or not. So these are the simple questions if RSS today gets registered, then why it is scared of not becoming a legal entity? You be a legal entity.
Yeah.
If you are working within the 4 walls of the constitution, there's nothing wrong in being a legal entity. You be a legal entity and behave like any other organization. Why you want to say that I don't want to behave like others?
Yeah.
You are not above the constitution. You are not above the law of the country. If you behave and you work in the 4 walls of the constitution, you have to follow the lines of the constitution and the rule of the law. So you can't go and get up and say, I'm not like others. No, you are like others because you swear by the constitution, you follow the constitution, you operate within the 4 walls of the constitution.
But Ashutosh, if you've seen what Mohan Bhagwat said, he says that we are not an organization which is taking funds from the government. So why should we get registered? This is what he said. So what does that mean? Are we to assume, and obviously this assumption will follow, that are we to assume that they have to hide something? And like what you said, that they are refusing to acknowledge themselves as a legal entity. So is it like some dark, unaddressed secret of RSS which has been unleashed by Priyank Kharge, and which is why they are running?
I'm not at all interested. I'm only saying is, even if you are self-financed organization, even if your members are there, so those who are self-financing the organization, you just get their name done. Is there any membership list? No. Is there any office bearers list? No. Is there any registration? No. Is there any registered office? No. And you create multi-story buildings which cost hundreds and hundreds of crores. So even if you are getting 1 rupee as a Guru Dakshina, or you are getting a $1 billion as a Guru Dakshina, what's wrong in if you show to the whole world that this is what one of the Swayamsevak had given to us, this is how we operate. And if it's a taxable income, if that comes within the ambit of the tax structure, you pay. Now the issue is, when you run away from disclosing your books, that will create suspicion in the minds of the people that there is something wrong. Yeah. They must be getting some money whose sources they don't want to disclose. But if everything is transparent, your books are transparent, you are ready for any kind of audit, then there is nothing to worry. If everything is all right, then nothing to worry. Why are you worried? You give sermons to others that अगर आपने कुछ गलत नहीं किया तो आपको डर किस बात का है? और रात को 2 बजे मेरे घर पे पुलिस आ जाए और मैंने कुछ भी गलत नहीं किया, अरे भाई रात को 2 बजे मेरे घर पे पुलिस आएगी तो मुझे डर नहीं पड़ेगा ना? मैं गलत करूं या ना गलत करूं, 6 साल बाद पता चलेगा कि जैसे प्रवीण प्रकाश को 6 साल बाद पता चला कि उन्होंने उनके संगठन में तो कुछ भी गलत नहीं था, but the whole organization is gone. One of the
Absolutely.
pillars of Indian journalism just completely collapsed. And there was not an iota of evidence. So the issue, it's easy to say. What you preach, you practice. Why don't you practice? You talk about transparency. You talk about openness. You talk about following the law. You talk about swearing by the constitution. So prove it.
No, but does Bhagwat's comment, Bhagwat in his comment, I've just pulled out that portion where he also says that the government knows they banned RSS. That means they knew RSS is there. RSS is recognized. Over 100 years, nobody told us that you must register. Our constitution, written constitution, is with the government. We have submitted it in 1950s. Now, what does Mohan Bhagwat mean by this? Is he trying to say that how on earth did you have the audacity to ask us to register ourselves? I mean, what does this statement reek of? Does it reek of arrogance? Does it reek of a person who's running away from accountability?
See, I'm not even going that far. He's an elderly figure, so I have a respect for him as an elderly figure, not as a head of an organization. My argument is very simple. RSS is an organization which has been banned by Indian state not once, not twice, but 3 times. It was banned by Sardar Patel, the iconic figure. RSS finds Sardar Patel as an iconic figure. The government took a lot of credit by building a unity statue in Gujarat. It is the same Sardar Patel you eulogize, RSS eulogize, praises, and puts him on a better pedestal than Nehru. It is the same Sardar Patel, after the assassination of Gandhi, banned RSS, arrested Goldwalkar and other RSS. It was banned then. And then Sardar Patel put a condition: this ban can be lifted if we swear by the constitution, if we salute Tiranga. Then RSS was banned during emergency. And Bala Saheb Thackeray wrote many letters to Indira Gandhi praising her. And they also wanted to connect to Mrs. Gandhi through Vinoba Bhave. Then the RSS was again banned after the demolition of Babri Masjid. Thrice, this organization is banned. You can always turn around and say that those were the enemies of the RSS. Those were the enemies of the Hindutva ideology. I can buy all those arguments. I can buy the argument that there were the biases in the system and that's why they were. But what about Sardar Patel? Sardar Patel was not one of you, but you used to like him, used to praise him, used to put him on a better pedestal than Nehru. He put you, and he wrote a letter on 11 September 1948 and saying, he did not say that RSS killed Gandhi. Not an iota of evidence was found ever. But he wrote कि जो जहर का वातावरण आप लोगों ने पैदा किया था उसकी वजह से गांधी की हत्या हुई. It's not us, it's Sardar Patel is. So RSS is that kind of an organization. Now the issue is, what is there to hide? You are in the government, so you are in the government, so better be the torchbearer of the society. You should come forward and say, I have nothing to hide. This organization is working for the betterment of India. This is involved into the character building of the country, and I take the initiative. We are going to get registered. Okay, we haven't got registered. We were not registered for 100 years. Doesn't matter. Why RSS is not volunteering? That no, till now nobody has asked me to get registered. Now since the government is asking us to register, so I'm going to get registered. Why don't you behave like that? If you don't behave like that, you're trying to avoid it, then there will be genuine suspicion in the minds of the people and in the minds of the government and bureaucracy that there is something wrong. So to avoid that doubt from the minds of the people, they should get registered.
No, but Ashutosh, the question which has been, not question, but rather questions which are raised by Mr. Priyank Kharge, do you think the RSS feels intimidated with questions like these when you pinpoint? And because the moment you speak to the RSS people, they say, oh, this is unnecessary rattling by Mr. Priyank Kharge. There is no substance in it. We are abiding by the law. This is the kind of... So, I mean, how would you see this issue then? RSS will not acknowledge, they will not follow the rules. They'll keep saying that, no, we have furnished all the details. And if Priyank Kharge continues to ask these questions, and now he's the Home Minister, and I'm sure he has the powers to take punitive measures. Do you think that there can come a stage where some punitive measures could be taken against RSS outfits in Karnataka, their offices?
I do not know. Frankly speaking, I do not know. But I think that should be the logical consequence. That should be the logical consequence. If a home minister of the state is asking that you haven't got registered, and these are the 8 points, on that you have to answer back, and if you're not replying, then obviously there has to be the consequences. It's not that I'm not saying that the punitive action, but there has to be some notice given to the RSS and say, please explain, come and explain why you don't want to get registered, and then the Karnataka government will be well within his rights to do that. A home minister will be well within his rights to do that. You can't say that the government is not going to arrest you. Government just want to know. Yeah. They need clarification, and that's what the notices are to be served. So I'm sure that, see, if you see it in the larger context, if we just leave this letter written by Priyank Kharge to Mohan Bhagwat for asking the accountability and the transparency questions, but I think this is a part of a much larger framework. I think the Congress has decided that let's take the bull by horn, and let's take the battle to the enemy's territory. We can't remain defensive that RSS is there, so let's not talk about RSS. Let's not talk about Hindutva. And because it is not that Mohan Bhagwat is there. The issue is the BJP and the Modi government gets all kinds of oxygen and all kinds of power through RSS. And it is RSS Hindutva which gives them strength and power. So let's attack on the very edifice of the very foundation of the Modi government. And I think it is a part of that battle. And within that battle, I think this is a legitimate question that if you're not organized, if you're not registered, you should get registered. I think the question is right, but I'm not discounting that there is no politics behind it. If there is a politics, then obviously it has to be politically answered, but you can't come back and say that Hindu dharma ka bhi to kabhi koi registration nahi hua. You can't say something like that. Absolutely. You don't identify yourself with Hindu religion. Hindu religion is much bigger than what RSS is. And if I do not belong to the RSS, that doesn't mean I'm not a Hindu. Neelu doesn't belong to the RSS, doesn't mean that Neelu is not Hindu. So you are trying to tell me that RSS is Hindu. I take it as an offense. As a Hindu, I take it as an offense.
No, but Ashutosh, do you think that now the onus is also on Priyank Kharge to take this fight to a logical conclusion? Now, what could be that logical conclusion? Taking punitive actions, obviously they will not be arrested, but shutting down the offices, sealing the offices across Karnataka, at least they could do?
See, again, I'm not getting into the punitive action. I'm only saying is that from now onwards, RSS has to be careful. The Karnataka, any activity within the bounds of the Karnataka, if they think that certain questions are there, and RSS, if operating within the four walls of the Karnataka, has to answer, then this is the legitimate call by the Karnataka government. Now the issue is very simple. RSS doesn't want to answer this question. So Congress wants to go to the people and tell them that if everything is all right, that why RSS is not replying to the letter written by the Home Minister of the Karnataka government. The fact is, this is going to be the talk of the town. Everybody is going to discuss this. And anything which becomes discussed, there will be people who will be for RSS, there will be people against them. But there will be many neutral people whose questions will be there in the head, that why they are not getting registered. See, this question, why they are not getting registered? But simple question. मैं आप क्यों नहीं रजिस्टर कराना चाहता? ये जो न्यूट्रल लोग हैं, उनके दिमाग को तो ये बात हिट करेगी. So I think the purpose is that somehow you touch the most vulnerable part of the RSS, and sooner and later RSS has to get itself registered. Not now, maybe not in 4 years' time, maybe not the next year, but sooner or later they have to get it done. You can't come and say that no, I don't need to be registered.
No, so from what you were saying, I was just listening to you carefully. So, which means that we can arrive at a conclusion that this is the raw nerve of RSS. Sooner or later, you're saying that they will have to disclose all these details. They might be arrogantly saying, Mohan Bhagwat, as he said, that no, we don't. The Hindu Dharma doesn't get registered, but eventually they will have to. So now, can Congress put pressure? It just can't be there in Karnataka, which means that the other Congress ruled states also will have to keep the pressure on RSS. So do you think that there could be a possibility where maybe a Revant Reddy or a Sukhwinder Sukhu government also might do the same?
See, in politics, sometimes you don't take a punitive action, but still you win the battle. So the fact is that this is going to be the talk of the town, the whispering around. This will not create a positive perception about the RSS. This will create a negative perception about the RSS. यार ये रजिस्टर क्यों नहीं कराते अपने आप को? ये जो डाउट लोगों के दिमाग में जो कांग्रेस डालने की कोशिश कर रही है कि if they are so good, so pure, so they believe in Indian ethos, क्यों नहीं कराते? If they believe in the constitution, they should get registered. See, they started from where? When the constitution was adopted in 1950, they didn't want to follow the constitution. They didn't want to salute Tiranga. But once the Indian state put pressure on them, they were left with no other option than to swear by the constitution and salute Tiranga. And that was one of the conditions which Sardar Patel put on them, and that is why the ban was lifted from the RSS. And now they swear by the constitution and they blame others कि आप तिरंगे को सलाम नहीं करते तो आप देशभक्त नहीं. So the time will come when they will be left with no other option than to get it registered. Sooner they do it, it's better. Otherwise, Congress would love to have this discussion, discourse, and whisper across the country that why they don't want to get itself registered. That's simple.
Right. But Ashutosh, does it also not puncture BJP's narrative where they go around the town and ask for documents, ask the people, "Kaagaz hame dikhao." So the people who refuse to show the documents, the same rule now applies for RSS as well. So it brings that narrative also.
Yes, कागज दिखाइए. हमसे आप कागज मांगते तो आप भी कागज दिखाइए. I agree with you. Completely agree with you.
So, which means that, so if this deadlock remains, Ashutosh, like what Bhagwat is saying, and I'm sure he's not going to disclose the details, and I'm sure they will take the Karnataka government head on, they will take Priyank Kharge head on, what could this turn into? Of course, it is a political fight and an ideological fight both. But how would the political fight manifest then?
See, if you remember on the last meeting in India Gathbandhan, Rahul Gandhi has categorically said that you can't fight BJP with the traditional way. You have to change your course. And then he uttered a word which has still not been very well defined. It is very intriguing word. We said resistance karna hoga. Now, what does he mean by resistance? Is it that the Priyank Kharge sending a letter to Mohan Bhagwat and asking him to get registered and explain about your donations, your taxes and all? Is it that way of out of the box thinking? A non-traditional way of confronting BJP and RSS and the Hindutva? Is it that? I'm not sure because I haven't talked to any congressmen, so I'm not aware of it. But but
I think what you're saying is right, absolutely, Ashutosh, because it does look like an out-of-the-box idea, because there will be questions, and which are natural questions and obvious ones, that when UPA was in power, this kind of, taking the issue, taking the bull by the horn, we didn't see the UPA doing this with RSS. Never were those questions regarding the disclosures and registration, sources of the income. Those questions were never asked during those 10 years of UPA.
Bilkul. So I think it's a way of taking the battle to the enemy territory. That's how I view it, and make BJP and RSS defensive because Modi because it's a BJP government, and you keep telling others that why don't you get registered? You show your accounts, you show your books, and if you haven't done anything wrong, then you have nothing to worry. And if you don't think that the government is doing justice, so you can go to the court. So let RSS go to the court. Let them go to the court and get the justice from there. But the fundamental question, see, it's like Prime Minister's education certificate. It's as simple. Matter is in the court, but people are openly talking about. भाई अगर आपके पास सर्टिफिकेट है तो दिखा दो ना. भाई मेरे पास सर्टिफिकेट है, नीलू अगर मुझसे मांगेगी तो मैं तो दिखा दूंगा आपको कि मैंने जवाहरलाल नेहरू विश्वविद्यालय से एमए किया, फिर मैंने एमफिल किया, ये मेरा सर्टिफिकेट है. अब मुझे 0 नंबर मिले या 200 नंबर मिले, इससे क्या फर्क पड़ता है? तो मेरे पास सर्टिफिकेट. So it's something like that. Everybody knows that there is something wrong. That is why the Prime Minister is not obliging people with his own certificates, educational certificate. I'm not saying that he hasn't done graduation. I'm not suggesting at all. But since you are not showing, you are not open about it, so people will talk about it. And there will be people who will be talking positive, there will be people who will be talking negative, and there will be neutral people who will be thinking, yaar, apna certificate kyun nahi dikha rahe? Same thing applies here.
No, so all those people who are thinking straight about RSS, at least Priyank Kharge's letter has seeded that doubt in everybody's mind that there's something really wrong.
Yes, it amounts to that. कि भाई कुछ तो गड़बड़ होगा, आप नहीं तो आप रजिस्टर हो जाओ. And it's very easy. I know, it's a very comfortable situation for the RSS because you don't have a membership list. So anybody can do anything. He might be an RSS member for a many years. But the minute he does something wrong, RSS can come out and say, "अरे ये तो मेरा आदमी नहीं है." You know, जब आपके पास कोई membership की list नहीं है, so there is no proof. When there is no proof, you can do anything and can get away. And RSS can get away easily. So that's a very comfortable route for the RSS. But now, in the eyes of the law, is that good enough? If you're an organization, get yourself registered. Simple.
But with the way the political fight is now manifesting and we are inching closer towards the 2029 polls, do you think that there could be some drastic measures against RSS because the ideological fight is also picking up along with the political fight? So how long can Mohan Bhagwat continue to say कि हम हिसाब किताब नहीं देंगे?
देखो वो तो मैं कोई confrontation अभी, it's just the beginning of a confrontation. It's a beginning of the confrontation on a legal ground.
Yeah.
But whether they'll take another drastic measure, I'm not very sure. I say ये एक तरीके का slow poison है. It's a kind of like धीरे लोगों के दिमाग में आप डालो कि ये doubt डालो भाई ये क्यों नहीं register करा.
Yeah.
So and it's not easy. See, to take any legal action other than sending a notice, it's not easy because today at the helm of affairs is Narendra Modi. Amit Shah is there. Then in 14 states, they have their own governments. In 22 states, they have a coalition government. It's a very powerful government. And RSS has emerged as a very powerful organization. So it's not that easy to take a battle. It's not that easy to take a punitive measures against RSS. It's not that easy. But you shove them in the corner. This is basically to shove them in a corner and tell them, you preach to the whole world. Now you also follow, and seed that and put that doubt in the minds of the people. And it is this doubt in the minds of people which will damage RSS more than any punitive action.
Absolutely. So it's almost like a political bubble which has been generated and people will continue to enjoy, I think, till 2029 elections, till this ideological fight takes on a feverish pitch. We'll have to end it here. Thank you so much, Ashutosh, for a lovely conversation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.